Hi again. I was talking about my uphill battle which began right after I arrived back at this university, my alma mater, Kyoto University, and I'm gonna pick it up right there. And I was offered a job mainly to teach pure and applied sciences, in English at my alma mater, and also I was supposed to take care of means mainly advise international students at this university, and teaching various classes. Ranging from pure mathematics to engineering, say. That was fine with me because if you remember, my BS was in chemistry, and then I studied physics, and then I moved to pure math. So it just ran the gamut, and I was free, ready, and willing to teach various classes. But when I got back to Kyoto University, I found that my teaching duty, the only math classes, math and science classes I was going to teach were applied statistics and modern physics, which was mainly, exclusively quantum mechanics. And since I'm not I'm not a statistician, applied statistics was not really in my field, but despite the fact that it wasn't my specialization, I was told I was about the only one who was able to do so. So I accepted that. And I was teaching applied statistics and quantum mechanics. Quantum mechanics is really my field, so quantum mechanics is just about the only class that was within my range of various specializations. And then one of the problems was that my affiliation at this university. I was an associate professor at the Center for International Students, and that center was plagued with outsiders and non-science majors. The reason why I'm using the expression plagued with, it's twofold. Number one, I think the Center for International Students was not that popular, and the positions at this, there weren't many takers for the positions at the center, and so they failed to attract, good talents. So what they had to do, they had to settle for were like sort of inferior talents from outside. In other words, many of the faculty members at the center were from inferior institutions, meaning they were not, they weren't good enough, for example, as a student to go to Tokyo University or Kyoto University, and they were from lesser universities. So I kind of felt that they weren't even qualified to teach and advise Kyoto University students. That's one thing. And another thing is, so many of them were actually, other than myself, all of them were in humanities and social sciences. Now, there's nothing wrong with humanities and social sciences per se, but Kyoto University is a science and engineering focused university. It has many other majors, and it has majors, faculties, departments in humanities and social sciences as well, and those faculties, those departments, we call them faculties, just like British universities, I guess. So those departments were also well known, and they are, they have good faculty members and good students. But the thing is, still, about 60, almost 70% of the undergraduate students are in sciences and pure and applied sciences, and also this may surprise you, but about 87% of the graduate students at our institution, they're in sciences, and I mean pure and applied sciences. Therefore, sciences and engineering and agriculture, pharmaceutical sciences, medicine, and so on. So you see, this is a strongly science-oriented university, and nevertheless, the center was, um, I mean, the faculty members at the center were in humanities and social sciences, and I kind of felt that they didn't like the fact that I was a mainstream person at this university. First off, I graduated from this university, and I had a PhD in mathematics from UC Berkeley. So I was like, I was more like a suitable, I was more fitting as a faculty member at this university, and they probably didn't like it. And to make it even worse, even though this was, this was a center for international students, my English was much better than theirs, and I had actually some objective indicators of that, like my TOEFL scores. You see, my TOEFL CBT score was offered only for about 5-6 years, I guess, but it was a predecessor of TOEFL IBT. CBT stands for computer-based testing, and TOEFL CBT, excuse me, it had in addition to the traditional speaking and listening, reading and listening sections, it had a writing section, composition section, essay writing, and Japanese people's output skills are quite weak, so like getting a perfect score on TOEFL CBT was impossible for other faculty members, and they just didn't like it. But I mean, who? It's not my fault. I worked hard to improve my English, and my English was good. And at any rate, so I was I was ill-treated by them, and I was forced to teach Japanese language classes, and I was the last person who can qualify for a position like that. I'm not a language teacher, and in particular I had never studied or never been trained in that field. So you see, if it is Japanese language teaching, of course they were far superior than superior to I was. And so I had to teach Japanese language classes, like 3 classes, Japanese language classes, despite the fact that it wasn't in my job description, and taught 1 science class. And that kind of, in terms of my profile, I mean, it kept me in low profile, because if I taught, like math and sciences and also even English, then I would stand out more as a good faculty member, but because of that, for the first 4 or 5 years, I was I was not really treated well, and my service wasn't even recognized well around the campus, and I was determined to do something about it. And what I did was to promote English language classes. I was teaching also other English language classes and programs offered in English language at Kyoto University, as myself, because Kyoto University was not going to do it, and by doing so, I thought I would, I can stand out more, and my service at Kyoto University will be appreciated more. And so, okay, I've talked for about 9 minutes and a half, and last time people complained the video was too long, so if not wrong. So I guess I'm gonna stop here. So next time I'll talk about what kind of promotions, including this, by the way, bleached hair, I embarked on at this campus. So this brought us to this video brought us to like 2003 or something like that. Thank you very much. See ya.